All right. What is up, everyone? Happy Monday. It is, of course, January 29th, 2024, and we're back for another episode of our Monday night online open mic presented by the Barbed Wire Open Mic series. This has been affectionately known as the Stay at Home Open Mic, but we've been meeting every single Monday here online on Zoom and on YouTube since April of 2020. In fact, in February, we are getting ready to celebrate our 200th episode. That's a whole lot of fun. Who would have thought? I never really would have thought that we would have kept these going. What something that was created out of just kind of necessity, the need to have a space for people to vent during some really tough times. We've realized that a lot of people like to join us on Mondays and share their work. There are quite a few online spaces like this, and so if you're new to this whole thing, trust me, you'll be able to get little glimpses and flashes of some of the other programs that run throughout the week online in online spaces that you can join and meet cool people from all around the world. Now, of course, as I like to say, we are live and alive in the 915. We are based out of El Paso, Chucutown. Give a shout out to always some local love. Right now, I'm rocking my old sheepdog cap. They're one of our business partners. We do our open mics there every last Thursday. So if you guys haven't had a chance to check it out, they're a fine brewery in South Central El Paso, and they do really great things to support all sorts of community events. And they have some food trucks out there. There's a lot of art around in the area. Also, shout out to the Jazz Exchange. I'm an MC and host for the Jazz Exchange as well. They're a nonprofit, and they help put on jazz shows all around the area, all around the city, from downtown, central, east side, west side, Socorro. Um, this Wednesday, I'm actually going to be emceeing a show at the Garrison downtown El Paso. So if you guys are down, come check it out. In addition to that, we do have our in-person open mics. So right now, I'm just gonna let you guys know about everything, right? If you don't know who we are, you can follow us on social media, most social media, Barbed Wire Open Mic Series. This Tuesday, we have an open mic at Rosewood. It's our Verse and Harmony open mic. So we welcome writers and musicians to come up and do their thing. So if it's your first time or you've been coming up forever, we welcome people of all backgrounds. And on Friday, we're going to return to Giovanni and Bronson's. We had a really successful event in December, and something that we're doing is a writing workshop that starts at 7 with our friend Melody Gomez, who has read here before and has been part of Tumblewords and will present at Tumblewords. So you're going to see a spider web of connections because we also have some writing workshops coming up in town. I know next Wednesday we have the Write/Work series that's put together by Fernando and Lee, and Kit Ren himself will be the guest host for that one. That's super fun. I know Cassie, who is here in the will be reading, who's on the list, is going to start her workshop next Thursday, February 15th, and it's like a series. So I'll let her talk about that. So a lot of great things going on. And also a lot of students tuning in. If you're an EPCC student, I do teach English at Rio Grande campus. And I also work with the Papagayo Project. We have events every single Wednesday, mostly on Wednesdays. And we kick off our first workshop this week as well. So if you're at Rio Grande campus on Wednesday from 12 to 1, come check out the presentation on conspiracies and misinformation put together by two of our awesome librarians at Valle Verde campus. We're looking forward to that. Okay, so shout out to Pablo. Good to have you. Good to have you here. Shout out to Jenny, who was here earlier, always listening and supporting. Shout out to M. Yeah, all the peeps here just to listen, right? Nicole, good to have you guys. Mora. We got a really great list of performers. So my name is Richie David Marrufo. I'll be your MC and host for today. Lots of stuff to going on. Those were like the quick announcements. I tried to be as quick as possible. If you've never been to one of these, this is like any other open mic, except it's online. So if you want to perform, all you have to do is sign up. We do have a sign up sheet available on our Instagram page, the link in bio. In our bio, there's a link, and there's always an updated link for every single week we host these. You can sign up. You can also follow us on Facebook, where we make a Facebook event page. You can just follow our events and see what we have going on. Also, we do have a link tree. So if you subscribe to the link tree, I will always update. I'll send an update to you guys with that new link. Otherwise, if you do want to join in at this point today, we have a pretty thin list compared to past open mics, and it's fine. But if you do feel a little courage and if you have something you want to share or commemorate, then please join us. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and pass things off our kick to our first performer of the night. I did want to kick things off, but I'll just wait a little bit because I need to find some stuff to read anyway. But we're going to go ahead and kick things off as we often do, and we're going to go visit our friend in Denver and see what Mike Sindler has to say share with us today. What's up, everyone? Hey, Mike, happy Monday. Go ahead and take it away
Hey, happy
when you're ready.
Monday. We don't mind waiting for you to find stuff because you're worth waiting on. Um, Other things that are worthwhile. Da 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 da. Lighthousewriters.org is a wonderful organization full of all kinds of great stuff for writers of all levels and what anything your type of writing that you do. So highly recommend just going to it. I just signed up for something. I'll try and remember and put it in the chat. Scott, I can't think of Steve's last name. Great, great writer who's doing a thing that's going to be online. It's only like $10. It'll be well worth it. Um, so that all being said, I don't know. I was sort of mood. I mean, I absolutely, like everybody else, am just sort of depressed about everything going on in Gaza and everything. But, one of the reasons that that happened is to take our attention away from what's going on in Ukraine. And we can't really do that. It really is still a very important thing. And so I want to read a piece that I wrote pretty early into the invasion of Ukraine. It's called Besieged. Tiny girl, little more than a toddler, scrambles through rubble, searching for family in still hot crater. History of home in 1,000 pieces, future dark as soot-caked wall. Older girl from adjacent building, hungry pup howling at her heel, pulls child from fruitless labor, shows her to relative safety, offers her tea and a tattered picture book, mends the little one's wounds. Stilled tank barrel rises from the golden field, smoke escaping from twisted metal wafts from wreckage. Old veterans, battle hardened long ago in Afghanistan, know how Russia's army fights, know how it was defeated, use what they learned far away to protect their home from invasion. Dire whining clamor drowns out barking, meowling, and wailing as concussive salvos shake the foundation of bunker. Tired mother pulls children close, soothes with songs of innocence, wipes eyes, changes diapers, fills bottles, not with milk but gasoline, torn rag topped, ready to be tossed towards mercenaries. What cannot be changed must be endured, but this must change, will change, is changing. The world sees a catastrophe, a massacre. The world must move against the madman. Ukraine will not stand alone. Ukraine will stand. Mothers will once again fill bottles with milk, raise children with hope in golden fields under blue skies. And despite what certain people are trying to do to keep us from helping. I really hope that there is success. I'm going to go into another direction here. This piece is called Anchor. And the epigraph is anonymous. People like you float away if they don't have anything to hold them down. She told him he was her anchor. He never understood what it was she meant. Was he keeping her from floating away or just holding her down, holding her back? She wasn't big on explaining. He gleaned very little from answers she gave. Was she trying to be evasive or just too polite or in the moment unable to articulate? She wasn't there one morning. He hadn't a clue where she'd gone. Was she floating skyward like an angel or sailing solo down a river, eyes fixed on the dawn? She told him he was her anchor. He never understood that she was really his. Was the space she left so empty and so silent and so heavy, the weight she'd cast aside? She told him he was her anchor. And I'm just going to do a quick little, I won't do that. I'm going to just go immediately to putting on the old hat there. And I'm going to do a piece by From the Prophet by Khalil Gibran, and it's called On Pain. And a woman spoke, saying, "Tell us of pain." And he said, "Your pain is the breaking of the shell that encloses your understanding. Even as the stone of the fruit must break, that its heart may stand in the sun, so you must know pain. And could you keep your heart in wonder at the daily miracles of your life, your pain would not seem less wondrous than your joy. And you would accept the seasons of your heart, even as you have always accepted the seasons that pass over your fields. And you would watch with serenity through the winters of your grief. Much of your pain is self-chosen. It is the bitter potion by which the physician within you heals your sick self. Therefore, trust the physician and drink his remedy in silence and tranquility. For his hand, though heavy and hard, is guided by the tender hand of the unseen. And the cup he brings, though it burn your lips, has been fashioned of the clay which the potter has moistened with his own sacred tears. Okay, thank you all very much.
All right. Thank you, Mike, as always, for a great selection of pieces that are both your own and the cover poem. So, yeah, if you're tuning in, if you're not familiar, this is an open mic. We welcome poetry, prose, and not just original work, but something called the cover poem. It's something that Mike did there at the end is he put on a hat. It's a very informal tradition, but a lot of people tend to throw on a hat when it's time for their cover poem. And as Kid always likes to say, the cover poem is, if musicians can do it, so can writers, right? It's a really great way to give tribute to someone that you really like, an author that you really love. And it's also really a great way to discover new writers. If in case, so listen in, look up people as they come. I should have had water before I start talking again. I'm sorry. But I see a lot of people. I do want to give a shout out to Ron Mark Thompson. Good to see you in the live chat as always, my friend. RMT. Awesome. Also, Julian Morales, who produced a wonderful show this past Saturday. It was, I only hear great things. It was, I was called into work at the same time, and it was so popular, it was sold out. So I couldn't even get a ticket. I was like, that's my fault. So I definitely do plan to go to your shows and keep promoting that because it's such a great message. I know a couple of my colleagues were there, Al and Maida. So got to hear a little bit from Myra the other day, how cool it was, or today actually. But congratulations, Julian, to many, many more. Many of you know Julian from here, who is Red and also hangs out as well. Check out his YouTube channel, Going Blind, Enjoying Life. And let's go ahead and continue. This is our online mic, and we are going to come back to El Paso for our next performer. Many have you seen her read at the open mics, and some students maybe even caught her read the release of her book Ridge of High Pressure. I was going to say Flow. That's another book, but that's another time in life. Ridge of High Pressure. We had a release or a reading at the EPCC's little temple at Rio Grande as part of Papagayo Project. Video coming soon, by the way. But right now, if in case you missed it, we're gonna see her live here on the Zoom call. Let's go ahead and welcome Robin Schofield up to the stage. Always good to see you again. Welcome back, Robin.
Hey, Richie. Hey, everybody. Happy Monday. Yeah, I've been away for a little while, so it's good to be back. And I'm going to read some poems that are kind of political in nature. Now, I'm embarrassed I don't have a cover poem, though. I could have easily grabbed a cover poem, but I just... Oh, well. And then I'm going to read a new one that's not really political in nature. Okay, so I sent these out to a contest, the Joy Harjo contest, so good vibes for them. And in this one, I pretended that both Koch brothers are dead at the table in the USA. The Koch brothers seemed so much like fairy tale dragons, hoarding their black gold, discussing filthy lucre around their ornate, overwrought dining room table. But they weren't. They were real, filthy rich Ayn Rand libertarians with no concern for the commonweal. There was a certain Pastor Jones of Florida burning President Obama in effigy, not getting in trouble. He moved on from burning Korans. He called him Hussein Obama as he sat at the head of his dinner table with his wife and children. On the other hand, we didn't call Bush Jr. president until the second term, when he was actually elected, instead of chosen by the Supreme Court. Our Vietnamese exchange student afraid the police might come any minute for what we said around the dinner table. Florida purges the voter rolls as the elderly sit around their diminished dinner tables. People of color haven't had much say at the table to begin with. A group of college kids sitting around a card table playing poker wonder why their blue city in Texas is divided into 4 safe Republican districts, ending hundreds of miles away. The Greeks invented democracy, yes, but also the idea of inherited slavery. Jefferson, no idealist, but one who pursued happiness. His writings never invited Sally Hemings to the dinner table. And this one is called No Subservient Woman. Abigail Smith Adams wrote to John, "Your set of laws should include us as well, or we should rise up and speak for ourselves, vote for ourselves, and own ourselves." It may have taken a century or two, but we are not chattel since the 1890s. We own ourselves and our property now. We can choose whether to have children. We can apply for a credit card since the 1970s, thanks to RBG. Don't we have rooms of our own, she sheds and such? 3 centuries after our great-great-grandmothers, like Susan B. Anthony, went to jail for voting, the ownership of our bodies is again in doubt, assailed by pious men of dubious character in the Congress and below, demanding ultrasound wands be thrust up into us if we demand to own ourselves, including reproduction. Will the question never be over whether we can choose to have children or not? When we own ourselves, some men are afraid. When we own ourselves, our rights cannot be taken. Oh, but they can. They can be taken when 3 Catholics, 2 sexist abusers sit with the Supremes, when a seat has been stolen from the Democrats. Your set of remarkable laws, Abigail Smith Adams said. She said they were remarkable. This one is relatively new. It's called New War, Old War. Finally gave it a title. Red and white geraniums mesmerize blue orchard bees among white alyssum. I hear the students shout in protest. Why can't there be peace everywhere on earth as in the garden? I have a feeling that the sky is on fire. Okay, so those are my political poems for the contest, and now I have a little poem about springtime. It's called Future Tense. Songbird in spring, symphony in his syrinx, trilling for a mate, feathered allegro, uncomposing, whole notes to seek out cloaca, notations to a clutch. Mud puddle of music, blue sky full of tunes, crisscross fleshy flutes, courting his counters, who court the countless leaves in the tree. Oh, I need some water. Oh my goodness. And as always, keep an eye out for tumble words. I just did a workshop, so I don't know who's next, but I'm sure we'll hear about that. It's tumble words is always a great way to write and get a start on things. And that's how I do a lot of my poems. So check it out.
All right, thank you, Robin. Appreciate it. Always loving the hat, and the drip. Thanks for coming through. I know you were taking some time off, so it's always good to have you back. And yeah, I heard great things about that workshop as well. And yeah, I was needing water too. That's crazy. I don't know. Maybe it's just drier air today. So we're gonna go ahead and continue here. To Let's see. Let me take a look at the list. All right. So we just heard Robin in El Paso, but thanks to the magic of the internet and Zoom, we are going to transport ourselves to South Euclid, Ohio, different time zone, and we're going to tune in to their poet laureate, and it is the one, the only Doc Jennings, who had some pretty good press recently. So, Doc, good to see you. Welcome back.
Better seen than viewed. I will begin with Goddess of a New Day. Silhouetted in the pale light of dawn, you are become Bhakti, a goddess rising from the soft warmth of sleep. Your dreams parted, drifting away as you greet the first light of a new day. And I rise to worship and pay you homage with kisses and caresses, to worship you in the fullness of Kuch, the fullness of love. This poem is a bit of a downer. It's a lot of people have been feeling down these days, and this expresses it for me. Cancer. Loneliness is a cancer. It grows, metastasizes, and with it, the pain of its being. It is ever present in heart, soul, mind, and self. It is ever present in hopes, thoughts, and dreams. It is ever present in what ifs, could have beens, and conjectures. It is ever present, coloring life in somber shades. It is an emptiness, an inscape of infinite hollow. It is a search, a forever search to belong. A search to belong somewhere, somewhen, with someone. It is her life, and it is saudade to the nth degree. It is a life filled with questions, questions of existence, questions of existence, questions of questions. Dot, 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 infinity. And I don't know why, but this poem just came flowing from me today. It is really a little more apropos to October, around Halloween, but this is titled Unknown Stars. Unknown stars shine mid Chthonian shadows, shadows of time. They shine in muted voice on worlds beyond ken, worlds beyond unseen horizons of unforgiving dark, worlds of the ancient ones, the elder gods, worlds of the leather-winged, the creatures of nightmares, worlds of kaleidoscopic horror and unending terror, worlds dreamed by Lovecraft, dreams of a shuddering truth. Cthulhu, Relaya, Than. Thank you.
Right on, Doc. Appreciate that. Any news or events you want to share with us?
Well, I've got my Second Sunday Poets coming up on February the 11th at 3 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern time. So that would be what, 1 p.m. your time. And I will throw that information in the chat. Anyone who wishes to join, my featured reader is going to be Mona Zemforescu. She's a wonderful poet who appeared recently. And then we go with an open mic. So please feel free to come along, and you can share this with individual friends. Thank you.
Very cool. Thank you so much. Doc Janning, everyone. I eventually had to get out of the habit of just always introducing him and saying, "What's up, Doc?" It was too much of a setup. Anyway,
hey, the ceiling is up.
And that was always the answer. So I'm like, all right,
and the roof,
I give up.
And the sky.
You keep going infinite, you know?
Yes, of course.
Awesome. So I want to give a couple more shout outs to people tuning into the live chat. Shout out to Tony G. I know you've been coming pretty consistently, so good to have you back. Pablo Moreno, what's up? Good to have you on. Shout out, Galactic Ginger. Hey, that's the name. I haven't seen you in a while. It was cool to see you at the Jazz and Poetry Night. Well, actually, I didn't see you. You didn't say hi or anything. I was so in the zone. I didn't know you were there till you posted a clip later that night. So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and continue on with the list. Again, if you're just tuning in, this is our online open mic. My name is Richie. I'll be your host. You can find me on Instagram, Deadwall Reveries, and you can just find all the stuff we have going on, not only online, but in person at Barbed Open Mic as well, anywhere that you use social media. I've been talking a lot about not just open mics, but opportunities for you guys to write. And many of you guys know about Tumble Words. We just started the Write/Work series in El Paso that you can attend physically. But our next performer is also starting a writing workshop series coming up next week. And so I do want to give you guys a chance to, sign. I'll let her tell you how you can sign up and get involved, but I highly recommend it. But let's go ahead and bring up from Ontario. We're going to go to Canada now and welcome Cassie back into the mix. Happy Monday. Good to see you. Welcome back, Cassie. Go and take it away when you are ready.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Richie. It's so nice of you to plug that so much. I'm so surprised. All right. Yeah. So I'm going to start with a new one. It's very fresh. I feel like it probably needs editing, but that's fine. I'm going to read it anyway. It's called At the Edge. I will meet you at the edge of tomorrow. It is there that both anxiety and hope sit. They meet and shake hands there. I will meet you at the edge of love. It is there that resentment, the burning pains that have sat on the back burner far too long, and the sting of the need to belong, lay down to rest, for they know that their internal ease will come along and take their post soon enough. And I have a couple more. This next one is called Second Instinct. Out of the corner of my eye, I catch your shine. My instinct, like my dark feathered kin, is to desire you, to add you to my collection. But like all good flightless birds, I must be aware that this draw tends to turn more ravenous, a passion of consumption, insatiable. Possession of the shiny is tempting, but you are not a rock. No, you have more pores that the residue of my touch surely will seep into. And I have, I believe, one more here. It's called Lucky Stars. When she says that she counts her lucky stars, you can count on it. I have been there. I have seen it. I've seen the dangling threads reaching down from the ceiling, a vast sea of string and hopefulness, each star a unique paper cutout, often with bent, worn corners, remnants of admiring hands grazing across them, not unlike the hand mesmerized by the sense of luxury that reverberates through it as it caresses the tops of a full head of hair of as it caresses the tops of a full head of lilacs on a summer's day. And when the brightness of a star is caught fading, it gets a spattering of glitter, a reminder that no matter how long you have taken your blessings for granted, you can renew the chances that they will catch your eye again. And thank you. That's all I have tonight. So I guess since Richie plugged it so much, I will share a little bit about the workshop. Oh, your reaction is so sweet, Richie. So if I can, I will share the screen just for a moment and show the updated poster. I'm sure mostly everyone here has seen it, but finally I have a finalized date. I kept shifting it. Okay, we're good. Okay. Gotta get the updated poster. Okay, can you see it there? Is it visible? I can't.
Yes.
Okay, thank you,
I can
Richie.
see.
Okay. So starting about 2.5 weeks, I think, on February 15th, for 4 Thursdays, so 4 weeks in a row, I'm facilitating a online generative poetry workshop centered around the theme of poetry as an invitation into curiosity and sense of wonder. I just recently finalized individual themes for the week, each week, which you can see if you go to Relentless Intrigue, which is my handle on Instagram. It's one of my most recent posts, but just to give you like a little bit of context, because I'm kind of excited that I finally narrowed it down. The first week is going to be looking at what I refer to as an invitation into inner worlds. So this is like poems that inspire the reader to be curious about other people's perspectives and experiences. Primarily, there may be some other angles in which we look at that theme. And then there's going to be a theme on invitation into outer worlds. So looking at being inspired and curious about nature and like how the world works and how the universe works, things like that. And then there's going to be one called Invitation into World Prospecting and Possibility, which is basically just curiosity about possibilities, both personal possibilities and more macro, like societal level possibilities. So there might be some like sci-fi, utopian, dystopian kind of stuff thrown in there. And then the last week will be an invitation into world origins. So it's going to be looking at like the history of things, both how like people became who they are, but how maybe like societal things became how they are and things like that. So it's a lot of information, but if you're curious, I do have the sign-up form available. It's a Google Doc. And again, it's available if you go to my Linktree at Relentless Intrigue on Instagram. So yeah, thank you.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, Cassie. And of course, you heard the tag in there as well. If you want to follow that through the handle, I do think that. Hold on, let me get back on the spotlight. Yeah, there we go, spotlight. Yeah. Thank you so much, Cassie. I had to promote it. Like this is kind of one of the spots to do it. So those of you who are watching right now and are aspiring writers, definitely hit up any workshop that you can, right? Because the first step is just to write and write and write and write, get as much as you can written down, and then once you have that, then you can sit down and edit and just kind of experience too, listen to other people read, other perform, read the work of other writers. So yeah, thank you so much for that, Cassie. Relentless intrigue. I love that juxtaposition of those two words there. It's really great. So thank you so much for everyone who is hanging out with us online. I just received an email from a student who's been watching, and um, yeah, it was a fresh email because they were talking about how they really loved your imagery, Cassie. They were like, I love the stove imagery, and people were like really kind of relating to a lot what you were saying there. Just wanted to mention that really quick. So yeah, shout out to all the students here. Again, if you are watching and if you're watching on YouTube and you haven't had a chance to check it out yet, I left my email earlier in the live chat. You can scroll up and find it, and just if you need it to Tehana passport, I'll probably repost it again in just a moment. But hey, this is our online mic. We got more people signed up, and there's still a bit of room. So if you feel like you want to jump in, the water's fine. The sign up is in the description of the video at this point. So that's all I'm saying. If you want to share a little something, we welcome you fully. All right, so we're gonna come back to El Paso for this, and his name is always dropped at this point. He's been here since day one and worked his way up to being a producer of the show. And we're really excited to be collaborating on so many things. Talked about the guest hosting workshop next Wednesday at Green Monkey Cafe, downtown El Paso. So if you're in the area, be on the lookout. I mean, you may have seen the flyer already, but many of you also know them. They're Tumblewords as running Tumblewords. And so let's go ahead, and it is Monday. It is time to call up Mr. Monday Night himself. That's right. Mr. Kit Wren, go ahead and take it away, my friend.
All right. Thank you very much, Richie. Yeah, very, very cool week, a very adventurous week, possibly year, This is where we set the tone, right? This is how it goes. This is how we keep up all those resolutions that we made and have possibly already forgotten about. But nevertheless, we continue, two of mine and then a very quick cover. But this is a villanelle called Act Your Age. I have never felt like the oldest in a room. Youth has power, but no certain authority. All of my predictions end in doom. My baby face is charming, but soon it'll be funny when they ask for my ID. But I still don't feel like the oldest in the room. Every silence makes me dread the coming boom. This is read as just youth acting cynically, every one of his predictions ending in doom. I've seen the next generation move from morning to noon, like mine, inventing irony and discovering sincerity. Yet I still do not feel like the oldest in the room. But the kids today know that I do not zoom. They post mocking photographs of Steve Buscemi. They laugh at my predictions ending in doom. And the elders think my panic inexperienced folly, one that priests see every day in their laity. I will never be seen as the oldest in the room. That's my prediction. It ends in doom. And since we have a little time to stretch out, I'll do a longer one that I don't bust out that often. This is called The Shadow Banquet. So I did this one at a Tumblewords that our friend Lee Martinez Soto had about shadow work and Jungian so on and so forth. It's Shadow Banquet. I am present as requested at an awards banquet where I am led to believe I am the betting favorite. As a brief aside, the discovery of betting markets for regional literary awards has profoundly changed my life. Thanks to a 50-to-1 parlay of the National Book Award winner for translated literature and the Prix Goncourt, I am dressed to the nines, wearing a morning suit for the first time since my aunt's wedding when I was 14. The doorman stops me and tells me that I'm not on the list. He does not believe me when I tell him who I am. He calls me a Jim Dandy like it's 1946. He says that nobody dressed like me could possibly have something interesting to say. I show him my ID, and he spits on it. He has all of that gentleman's books, he says, and he finds this ruse disgraceful. He gets ready to spit in my face. He must be part camel. He takes too long in the wind-up, and I run away. It's okay. I know the bar staff on the second floor. They razz me a little for the suit. They ask where my date is. But they listen patiently, and they sneak me in. Kids always tip well. I am in the ballroom in time to see my shadow accept my award, dressed like he lives in a train station. The bettors are happy. I should be happy. I'm a bettor too. He says vulgar things that I agree with. I shouldn't want to argue, but I do. Pissed. Not at my shadow. I regard him fondly, like a misbehaving dog. Even his faults are great conversation starters. I am pissed at all the people who told me to hide my shadow my entire life and are now giving him a plaque. That is my goddamn plaque. At the very least, it was a collaborative effort. Are they rewarding him for ignoring them? Like riddle-telling trolls? My shadow is on the dais drinking clear liquor. Oh no. Settling personal scores with people I have mostly succeeded in forgetting. I've been told that to carry on like this makes me tedious and small-minded, but everyone is laughing like jackals at his recollection of our ex-girlfriend. This is dangerous. I pray that he avoids a certain four-letter word, but he steers right into that skid. I knock back a complimentary whiskey and brace myself for the shock and the anger, but the room applauds. I can't tell if I'm relieved or scandalized. Don't encourage him. Don't let him wallow. But they're eating it up. My shadow is the only shadow in the ballroom. And this makes everything click in place. They are pretending that I, is the only one. I'm onto this scheme. If there's one thing I hate, it's a fucking scheme. I stand and holler the first thing that comes to mind, which is a bit from Nathaniel Hawthorne. On every face I see a black veil. The quote echoes, because my shadow is saying it too. He bro nods at me from the dais. I bro nod back. I'll see you at the house, he says. And the crowd murmurs, because we broke the illusion. They're arguing in whispers about which of us is real. We both are, you stupid idiots, says my shadow. And I must note with appreciation the skill with which my shadow has played the long game, trapped everyone on the losing side, but made them give him a plaque first. The scene is quickly descending into chaos and violence. I make my way out through the kitchen before the security guard can hawk one at me again. It's sad, truly, all these people who are not friends with their shadows. How do they know who they are? How do they know where they end? And to counteract how long that was, my cover poem's only 5 lines. It's I Feel Horrible, She Doesn't by Richard Brodigan. I feel horrible. She doesn't love me, and I wander around the house like a sewing machine that's just finished sewing a turd to a garbage can lid. Okay, socials, you can find me on Instagram at Kit Ran Away. Find me at Facebook at my name, pretty easy. And I am, as mentioned several times, the director of the Tumble Words Project, DTD. And this week, our presenter will be Janet Bonnet. She regularly joins us from Omaha, and she has some thoughts about translation and working in different languages. And she's going to draw upon not only examples from literature, but from her experience in her day job as a court interpreter. So that I'm really looking forward to it. She came to me with some questions, and I said, "Do you want to just do a workshop on this? Because I need to fill the third." And she was very excited. So we got that going. Yeah, the second, Giovanni Bronson's Melody Gomez will be leading a workshop before the mic starts proper. And it's my understanding that it's going to be a dry run of their eventual Tumble Words on the 17th called Fire. Doesn't that name just get you going? Fire. And in between those two Tumble Word states I just mentioned, there will be the traditional Against Love Poetry workshop. I'll be hosting that on the 10th. And I'll be doing for Fernando's great, wonderful idea, the work right or the right work sessions. I guess either one's fine, but it's usually right first. I'll be doing kind of a greatest hits of past iterations of the Against Love Poetry. I'll have some of those to pass out and have people do. And, drink your coffee black because I'm going to need you at your most bitter. But I think I've covered everything. It's going to be our 200th show in 2 weeks. That's going to be fun. And I hope everyone's enjoying show 198 so far. We'll hand it back to Richie.
Awesome. Thank you, Kit. And of course, thanks for all the announcements and letting people know what is up. We're really excited to be doing these workshops at Giovanni and Bronson's. So if you're free Friday, come check it out. The right workspaces are also so far been really great. All right. Also, may I, it's so great to have you guys all here with us and getting everyone to share a little bit of themselves through their work, through their poetry, through their writing. And I just want to personally thank everyone, and of course all of you guys who are hanging out with us in the live chat. That really means a lot. One of the really unique things about these online performances, typically, if you perform something live, you get you physically there, and there's an audience, and stage fright is such a natural thing. This is such a unique experience because we can't really visualize our audience. It could be anyone, right? And so when you guys are here and typing hearts in the chat and claps in the chat and just hanging out with us, it feels so much nicer because it becomes tangible. We have an idea of who's here and the support that we have. So I do want to give a shout out to all of you guys participating in that way. And again, you guys are always welcome to just hang out like that. Or if you ever want to jump on the Zoom call with us and participate as well, then definitely look forward to having you guys. It doesn't have to be this week. We're here every Monday for the foreseeable future. As long as the internet exists, perhaps. We'll see. But for now, we're going to take it 1 week at a time. Looking forward to episode 200. Why does it feel like I'm ending the episode? I'm not, because we have a lot more amazing performers. We're going to stick around in El Paso. Speaking of the awesome people who hang out with us online, our next performer is often one of those people. In fact, she's there right now. I've seen her. She was commenting in the live chat. But every now and then, it's a very special thing happens where someone who is always in the live chat jumps in and signs up to share some of their poems with us. She's got 3 of her originals today. I see she's been going to Tumble Words a lot and writing and posting the poems on her Facebook page. On top of that, she's just super creative. She's always taking really cool photos downtown. And on top of that, transforming them into art and doing all sorts of cool visual artistic pieces as well. So you can find her on Instagram under Sandy Candy Lands. I like the rhythm of that. Sandy Candy Lands. Sandy _ Candy _ Lands. But without further ado, always a treat when she gets to make it on the actual show to perform. Let's welcome Sandy to the stage. What's up? Go ahead and take it away.
Hey, what's up? Can you guys hear me okay? Yeah, all right. Just making sure. Yeah, just to thank you for that introduction, Richie. I appreciate it. Great to come in here once in a while. I decided to dust off some old poems So let's see. I got 3 of them right. My first one is called Inside Me is the Letter Given to You. From the sea floor I rise. The tide pulls and gives to the mossy shores. Wet sand on my belly, gathering dark green seaweed. The ocean gives birth to me, fossilizing centuries from the parted crimson tide. Swaying palms bow to my presence on the glimmering horizon. My eyes turquoise, hardened, my skin like wet clay glistens under the red-orange sun. Quiet are the footsteps of the natives. Around me, seashells echo the secrets of my people. Inside me is a letter given to you as I exhale and share the sea salt breeze. Okay, so that's my first one. This one, I don't have a title for this one, but let's see. We found bones sunken into ground, camouflaged under dried autumn leaves. Washed them till they were clean and white, placed them in cauldrons and attached our deities to them. We gathered herbs of rosemary, sandalwood, and thyme, wrapped them with strings of intentions, carved sigils into wax, and lit the flames, wrote our future into letters, sealing them with dripping hot wax under the full moonlight. Constellations, planets, and seasons passed over our heads as the wind carried our secrets between branches and the listening ears of elks. Okay, thank you. And this is my last one. This one's called Germinate. Take the axe of syllables, hammer them into moist soil. Watch the words germinate into light green sprouts. Push tongue to teeth up to the mouth plate. Fossilize sounds through air, hitting ossicles. Store them into dormant foundations of your Roman ruins. Hide the scribe of your being in Tibetan tombs above the snowy mountains of Eurasia. Take your angst, your Dasein, walk the path of no paths. Take fresh paint, draw graffiti on city walls, the modern hieroglyphics. Store teeth hitting air, creating sound into memory, like the cold water drips onto lime pillars of deep, dark caverns. Okay, that's it. Thanks, guys.
Oh, that was cool, Sandy. That was everything. Wait, hold on. Before you get off and be all shy and stuff, first of all, props on the dope autumnal leaf earrings. That is very creative. Like it.
Next time I eat them, yeah, I make all kinds of weird stuff.
You do, and it's fun to follow you for that reason. You always share like such creativity in that regard. You can turn a little into a lot. But also just for everyone listening, I feel like, and it's been a while since I've heard you read, but I forget this until I hear you. You transform. Your voice changes. It sounds like you come out of like a Edgar Allan Poe extended universe. Like. Oh, you're a character, Edgar Allan Poe style. But no, shout out.
I do like to play with voices. You've heard my British voice a couple times.
It's fun.
There's like some dark stuff.
Yeah, there's like a dark gothic nature to it. It's fun. So really quick, how can people follow and support you online? Since it's been a while since you've been on here.
I usually share stuff now on my Instagram, Sandy Candylands, and there you can find some of my poetry and photography and little weird stuff that I make all the time. So, thank you, Richie. I appreciate it. Lots of fun.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for joining us. All right. Oh, hold on. I did something weird. What did I do? Okay, I'm back. I'm back. Back on the screen. Shout out to Charlie Rock. Good to see you on the live chat. Welcome, welcome. Okay. I meant to warn our next performer. I usually give like a little up next. We have so and so and so and so, and I forgot. I was trying to type their name, uh, and it would just like been it would have looked like me yelling at them like Tanish, but I meant to text you or message you that you were next. So we're gonna go to San Francisco, and we have Tanish Carr in the house. He's gonna drop a little something something. Tanish, hey, glad you could join us. Thanks for also letting us know in the live chat that you were on your way. That was really cool. So whenever you're ready, good to have you here.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's always great to be here. I'm putting I guess pre-orders for the book is finally coming out. It's getting really real. So if you want, you can pre-order, but go straight. You can email the publisher directly because it's a small, humble outfit. So none of the poems I'm reading tonight are from that book, though. I thought I would just read some funnel sonnets, which is a form I kind of created last semester and as part of like our final project. And so I'm going to read 4 of those, and this first one is called Partition, and it's after Fatima Asghar and for Palestine and Kashmir. The loot of the boot is uprooting the root, just as ethnicity is bombed into leaving. It's called a war or a conflict if the perpetrator's white, the suffering brown. A napkin ring of a nose ring, bejeweled in ruby, 24-karat gold soft, circles my waist as I stand wrapped, crown to toe, in a Kashmiri shawl, safe in India's Punjab. A border so arbitrary, they had to draw it with religion, with race. But all I can see for miles is fabric. This one doesn't have a title yet. The chutzpah of the Hindutva, like any other holy supremacy, is strapped with grenades, much like the opposite of creation is mass graves. I was just a child when my lifeline died. What some children never witness, others do and do and do again until they cry not tears but blood. It took me decades to see my fluttering heart as excitement, not fear, turn fear into anticipation, but I've never lost my entire race. Tears you store away always surface. Reading about some whatever I remember, the lack suddenly of a mother of all motherless daughters, frightened, left unnurtured, I'm famished for yours. How could I relate to a mom so loving and forgiving and living again? I think in tears that fall from my heart inside out into the blood and collect at the base of the belly. Everything else is numb. Gazing through the glass at the crystalline sky, my body thaws days later. The water creeps up forsaken, drained. I surrender every droplet through my goblet eyes. Such shaking effort it is to contain nature, knowing I tremble for what I resist. The last one is Four Crescents. Thank you. After Normatics, I think I've read it here before, but it's in that same funnel sonnet style that I kind of like. I was really inspired by Wanda Coleman, so and how she just like created the American sonnet. So I decided maybe I'd try my own. Signing in for an online poetry workshop on addiction, led by a poet all poets want to impress. His wild hair shakes with every nod. The poets pile in square by square. Addiction is a funny thing, but only once you've gripped it over time, you get to squeeze less and color returns to your knuckles. But it can be anything, anyone in the impulse to follow toxic relationships. My inner child, its compass, the wild needle slant toward magnets of power dynamics at my expense. The electric charge wears away over time. As devotion to self, that instinct grows. I would laugh now, but for the four crescents still carved into my palm. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Tanish, so much. And yeah, heavy poems, but thanks for sharing these as well. Love the inner child compass imagery. That's great. How can people who are seeing for the first time follow and support you online?
They can do tanishkantos.com or Tanish Kantos on IG or Twitter or YouTube. Yeah, that's it.
Cool. Perfect. Thank you so much. As I often say, that wasn't just it. That was everything. Awesome. Oh, I was trying so hard to listen. My cat was crying at the door to let him in, and he was just bothering me this whole time with affection, bothering me with affection. So I can't complain.
I will
Please,
say the cats are curious about me, about my voice, I think. It's like
yeah.
higher pitch or something. I don't know what it is.
Interesting, right? Yeah. He's chilling now at my feet. But thank you, Tanish. I'm glad you're able to join us. We have a thin list tonight, as I did mention, but we do have a couple more left, and I guess I'm going to throw myself into the mix again. But for now, we're going to go to Washington, D.C., where we have our friend, Mr. Ed Poetastic, who's going to share a little fun with words. As always, Ed, how are you doing today? Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. I love you and everyone else's wordplay all day, every day. Woo! Hello, my name is Ed Potasso, feeling fantastic. Please get a time to join my rhyme file, feel sublime. I got 3 poems, so I won't take too much time. My first poem was from vocabulary. It was a word prop. The word prop was used, I built a room on my own, and this is called You Are. I built a room on my own. Not me, but you, I, and all. Let our imagination run free. Scars and bumps on our walls. We're building shacks and trees. We shake, collapse, rebuild, or fall. We could be rivers, oceans, or seas. We could be short, medium, or tall. Some might disagree, but grab some tea. Please be mindful of your cholesterol. We're homes, condos, tapes, or DVDs. Some of you deserve this wake-up call. Please be happy with extra glee. This is a relapse or a downfall. Please don't scream like a banshee. Hey, don't go yelling at City Hall. Please be a barrel full of monkeys. Don't be as plastic as a Barbie doll. You are whatever you believe or see. Please just don't be a crazy goofball. You could be a concert, play, or jamboree. You could be a jawbreaker or a gumball. You could be a medal, a trophy, or an Oscar nominee. You could be a snowball, a baseball, or a basketball. No, you can't. Okay, hold up, pardon me. I don't have foresight or a magical crystal ball. Yes, you could be a mansion or a yacht. Fiddly D. You could be a leave, Tums, Benadryl, or Tylenol. Please don't go on a mindless shopping spree. This is a spitball, a stonewall, or a pitfall. You could be CEO, teacher, scholar, or VIP. You could be the Statue of Liberty or the Taj Mahal. You could be whatever you want in the land of kind of free. You're what you apply, manage, and install. You could be an ant, a spider, a butterfly, or a queen bee. You could be Saul, Squall, Paula, or Paul. No? Well, you are doing it now. It's called poetry. Poetry can be scribbles, carvings, or graffiti on the wall. You are what you can be. It's not under lock and key. You could be the sun, a cloud, a storm, or a parasol. You don't need a college degree. Take it from me. Thank you. I got another one. This one was from a challenge about John's basement. But long story short, this is called The Killer Joke. I'm stuck in a mask in my underwear. I'm being tormented by a demented clown. This is so crazy, weird, unfair. I can hear squeaks, honks, and kazoo sounds. The neighborhood was nothing special. Everyone kept to themselves. Everyone behaved either simply or silly. The neighborhood motto is everyone stay mindful of strangers and yourselves. This neighborhood reminds me of a town. Everyone knows each other like a sister and a brother. I think this is the best neighborhood around. We all adore and appreciate each other. I moved to this neighborhood for tranquility. I hated the hustle bustle of the city. I want life with more peaceful serenity. With all that noise, I want to live past 50. My neighbor's name is John. He is a strange guy. When I say hello, he says goodbye. I asked him, how's it going? But he responded, why? When I see him, I always sigh. I remember that he moved here a while ago. It was him and his wife. He was more happy than shallow. She was the sun in his life. He had a welcome party at his house. It was so clean you didn't see a mouse. It had a ton of pictures of him and his spouse. He wore a suit while his wife wore a blouse. He makes a ton of food to eat. All were gluten-free without barley, rye, or wheat. The taste made you move your hands and feet. The sandwiches were good, but the wine was sweet. John had a huge smile on his face. Nothing in his house was out of place. He never leaves anything to waste. He always carries an expensive case. I was walking around till I saw a door. I reached, then I heard, what are you doing that for? It shakes my hearty core. John asks, you want somewhere else to explore? I quietly whispered, what's in the basement? He whispers, please take a hint. John asks if you want some tea with a hint of mint. We walk fast, it looked like we sprint. After that day, I didn't see his wife. John didn't look right. They were quite a sight. I wanted to ask, but couldn't with all my might. I asked others, what's with John? They stopped and didn't go on. The conversation was brief, but not long. What in the world did I stumble upon? John started leaving early or late in the day. I asked, John, what are you up to today? He didn't budge when I say, hey, hey, hey. He always looked the other way. I pondered. He let me go. He didn't let me go into his locked room. My curiosity started to bloom. My ideas came like a raging monsoon. Would it be my revelation or my doom? One of my ideas is, can John be a killer? He was too happy, nice, and friendly. His presence did made the air a bit thinner. Now he is beginning to act odd, strange, and differently. I could call the cops, but do I want all that attention and publicity? No, I need to know how to protect this great neighborhood. All that noise and flashing lights remind me of the city. I couldn't send them some evidence, which would do me some good. I grabbed my ski mask, a pick lock, and a flashlight. I knew it didn't feel right. I quickly sneaked out of everyone's sight. I was a ghostly shadow in the night. I locked John's door. There was something I could ignore. I could only hear John snore. He did say, I can't explore. I quietly went to the basement door. I didn't forget what I came for. Slowly, I unlocked and slowly opened the door. There was something I didn't see before. The room was colorful, like a circus. It felt like I was the main attraction. I felt terrified, scared, and a bit nervous. My mind couldn't boggle these unique and vivid distractions. I tried to leave, then I heard this squeak. A player voice said, you didn't have to peek! My body felt so sleepy and weak. I tried my best to be discreet. I was bound in a wooden chair, had only my mask and underwear. A voice said, you have something to share! I responded, Why should you care? The unknown voice said, Sorry about your clothes. Look a bit stuffy. I screamed, Why you take my clothes? The unknown voice said, You were beginning to look like my cat, Fluffy. I said, I felt dirty, embarrassed, and exposed. I saw a pale face with a big red nose. He slowly put my face to his rose. Squirt! Water arose. He said, You want some answer, I suppose? The stranger said, Well, stranger, welcome to my basement. My name is Jimbo the Clown. I hope you have child's amazement. Welcome to Planning Around. He started telling me jokes. He started acting them out. It felt like my laugh box was having a stroke. My tears started to sprout. Jimbo said, Why shouldn't you date a blow-up doll? Because it's full of hot air. My fear started to fall. Jimbo said, I bring jokes to share. Jimbo said, Why could I wear banana hammocks? I said, Why? Jimbo said, You don't find it appealing because I always slip. I was laughing in surprise. My saliva started to drip. Joe took off my mask. Jimbo had sadness on his face. I yelled, I had a blast. Jimbo stumbled to find his place. Jimbo said, I didn't want to embarrass her. I kept doing it until she got better. I was a son for her great weather. I love every moment together. Jimbo told me about his wife dying from cancer. Joey thought he was funny. It's what he did to Manser. It always made her sunny. She wrote him a letter. The letter read, Never stop spreading your joy. I may be gone, however, are the funniest man I enjoy. John started performing shows early or later. He loves seeing laughing faces. He does get a couple of haters. That's why he carries a lot of unique cases. Jimbo taught me. I gave him a big hug. He said, Sorry, but I disagree. I said, Dirt on the rug. Jimbo said, You can stay as long as you like. I said, This was a weird experience. Jimbo said, You and I are more alike. I said, No, really? Are you serious? Jimbo opened his house-based back door. I quickly sneaked out and rushed out. Jimbo said, I hope you came what you came for. I said, Shh. They don't need to shout. The next day, I waved at John. He waved back. He walked as gracefully as a swan. He shouted, Have more yolks to yak! This was my neighbor, John. No, Jimbo. He was a killer clown. He killed us with jokes and big red nose. He will always be the joke in our town. Thank you. Sorry to be long. My last piece is called Crimson Arrow.
Awesome, man. Yeah, in lieu of jokes, you just brought up the killer clown piece. That's what we went with today. Eddie, for the people at home, how can people follow and support you online?
Oh, sure. You can support me online. Sorry to take too much time. You can follow me and support me by coming and performing or watching this wonderful open mic that makes our Monday night such delight in the wonderful fantastic spotlight. All right. You want to follow me? Please feel free. My Facebook is Eddie Foreman and my IG is Eddie Foreman 92. And remember, if the mic is right, I'll be there to shower fantastic insight. If you send me a request, if you take guests, the answer is yes. Hope everyone stay healthy, safe, and blessed. Never stop spewing the one awards outside your chest. Never stop being and doing and feeling your best.
Orale. Thank you so much, Ed. Appreciate it, man. As always, for coming through and being such a solid performer, and not just reading your work, man, performing your work, putting your voice into different modes. I that's something not a lot of people can do. So I got to give you props on that, my friend. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and jump in and share a couple of pieces. Especially, I guess, since there's somewhat of a new audience. These are all new to you. So yeah, this is my first poem signification. It's called In the Air. Can you dig it? These soft, syrupy syllables of sweet and tonic, a sweet and sonic tonic of saxophonic and savory strings dipped in melodic prose. This is midnight music, a little something to dance to. Behold, this tapestry of creation and destruction. It is the folding and unfolding of the cosmos in the breath of a moment, immediate creation. These are songs to hold on the tip of your tongue, as if sung from celestial vagabond bloomings of bent around the street corner and nowhere else but tomorrow. We're all students to the sounds of a Monday night or any other. Don't ingest the smoke. There's so much in the air, like music. You see, we're running on empty, and the moon is near full. We've got the whole night ahead of us and just enough fuel as origami dreams of the heart take flight, having never before believed so much in the potential of a horizon. Carve your name in the sidewalks, etch your essence into the secret passageways of underground cities. Look for those hidden corridors and keep and hold the secret blues of desolate angels, solemn, happy in their otherworldly glow of existence. We'll walk down the crossroads and explore those chords of resistance. We're all students to the sounds of a Monday night or any other. Everything else is embellishment. Mystified by the music, we succumb to the late night mellow beats of infinite theoretical musings. You see, these are songs to hold on the tip of your tongue, as if sung from celestial vagabond bloomings of bent around the street corner and nowhere else but tomorrow. You see, this all too big world grows heavier in the hearts of poets with hungry eyes, looking for more, looking for more, looking for one more note. All right, and peace. Okay. Here's a music one. It's called Música Mestiza. And if you guys know 100 Years of Solitude, there's this very interesting character by the name of Melquiades. So that's who I'm referring to here and reimagining in this piece. If Melquiades were a merengue musician, what kind of chord progressions would he throw down and leave to be deciphered in the dance steps of lovers? Hand to waist, eye to eye, hips in sync to a 2/4 beat. Would he take a split second during a rest to gaze beyond the bell of his horn and focus his gaze on the mystic whirlwind of lovers intertwined in a moment? A syncretic soundscape, living beyond the scuffle of leather, swish of fabric, skin hitting skin, click of valves, and a trumpet's blare stretched out into a ribbon of sound. Would Trujillo embrace merengue so freely if forced to also celebrate the dark sounds of its African lineage? Música mestiza. It's a supreme sound and a sacred silence. Play away, Melquiades. Play away, Música mestiza. If Melquiades were a merengue musician. All right. And that's, yeah, play away. Oh, mira, this is a supreme sound and the sacred silence. The secret scores of ancestors inscribed into our skeletons, the kind that compels us to dance as an act of resistance. Play away. All right. I messed up that. I need to rewrite that because I had an edit there that I messed up on. My bad, guys. Yeah, but that one's fun. That one was published on Chrysalis, our school's magazine. So if there are any PCC students still listening, still here, we have a literary magazine at the school called Chrysalis. It's currently at Rio Grande campus, but look it up online. They have an Instagram page, and they're always accepting submissions if you want to get published. Okay, last one. What I want to read. There's some old pieces in here that I haven't read in a while, but here's one that maybe a lot of people can relate to. It's called Heavy Moon. Even Orpheus looked back. There are groggy days that sit there, bloated, with abstractions like time or space, when phrases like I miss you are just words on a screen. Do you ever stop to listen for the music in everyday things like a passing thought or a smile? You know, my heart gets hungry too. Tonight, I couldn't possibly keep up with Neruda or the pool of this heavy moon because it reminds me of you, as if I could pull out the sky this midnight pearl and marvel at the thought of our very own perigee. If you leave a trail of words, I'll follow them back to you. Pull me in, I'm yours. All right, so that's my set, brief. But that's probably the most I've read in a while, actually. I did want to give a shout out to N. Scott Mamade. Every semester, almost every semester, the very first day of class, instead of reading the syllabus, I just go straight into storytelling mode. And one of the ones I love to share is from N. Scott Mamade's Way to Rainy Mountain. There's a piece in there called it's like the story of the arrow maker, and Mama Day comes from the Kiowa tribe, and so that is a collection of short stories and poems all about like Kiowa stories, family stories. But the story of the arrow maker is a particularly interesting one, and I asked my students the first day, how is this about language? And then we just start talking about it, and it's fun. It's a great way to start the semester. So now's the time where I shut up. I'm back in the host mode, and as with every show, thus comes the main event. In the baseball game, it's the closer. And they make a call to the bullpen. It's time to bring this home. This ain't the Sandman, it's Dan the Man. How have I never said that before? If you know Mariano Rivera, the Yankees, you already know what's up. But this is Dan the Man. Enter night, right? Right, Dan? All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Without further ado, here he is. Take it away.
All right, thanks, Richie. How's everybody doing tonight? And yeah, you may know I'm a D-backs fan. So, all right. Well, as you may know, we're more than 2 weeks away till Valentine's Day. So, very funny, kid. Okay, and there's two pics I want to show you. Hang on. Give me 1 minute. Hang on. Okay. All right. Yep. The rose. Yep. The pocket full of hose. Yep. Yep. It's something very close, and it's all the gloss. It's all the gloss and all the red and the pink and the verbose. Yep. This ain't no adios. Well, as you may know, my diagnose, that's and gross. But they are my rose. You know how I chose. It's always the does to the flows. Yep, something's to show. Yep, to the rose, how we expose the things. Yeah, how we come to blows, but not really. But if you want to take a video of it, but here's overexposed. Yep, the rose up close, open, and close. Yeah, so yep, it's all the sideshows, so this is what we suppose. But there are plenty of rainbows. Even if it's roses like a rainbow would be besides red, blue, yellow, green, purple. Yeah. That'll be nice. All the colors to expose. Yep. That's how he who walked behind the okay, no, I'm sorry, that's Children of the Corn. I accidentally said he who walked behind the rose. Yeah. Yeah, so it's all the rose. Yep. Time for the prose. And like poetry, there's prose. So, and even though it's kind of like a bloomer, yep, all the roses have bloomed. How we stay for the groom. Yep. Well, this ain't no summer, but if it was, it would be a bummer to have roses on that on that strummer. Yep. And that's what I do. And like I said, sorry guys, ladies only. Yep. I only have, and I'm not talking about fansly. I'm talking about one rose each. Yep. And it's always like a place rose to peak. You have to preach, and that's how we reach. And be careful with the thorns; they screech. Talk about the figure of speech. Yep. Never to be outreach. Or you can find some roses in the beach. Yep. And furthermore, yeah, here it is. Yep, the roses. I have the list. Oh, okay, well, that's the screenshot of it. That's the first, I think that's the first 15 to the 20, but I got way more than 20, which I'll be buying. So something will get by. So, yep, and Just to Get By Kali Tawai. So that is the list that it does exist that you cannot miss. But if you think my roses, they are the twist. So they like a rose with an iron fist. Yep, so they're not to be dismissed. And no, this is just the list, not a blacklist or a checklist or a shopping list or a price list. These are the list for the roses that do exist. Yeah. Okay. And for them, yeah. So I'm getting a head start tomorrow. So hopefully I'll be at the Rosewood. So I may bring some roses. So that way I'll get a head start for Valentine's Day. So yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's why I'm getting a head start. So all right. Plenty of time. Okay. All right. So and you guys just let you know the countdown of the Valentine's Day will be on my IG story as usual. So you guys are gonna like this one. So I'll send in the link from last year or 2 years ago and 3 years ago on the Valentine's countdown that I always do like. You guys are gonna like this one. So again, Dan the Man's Weekly is currently on hiatus until further notice. So I'll keep you posted when the updates come available. All right, guys, and I'll promote the upcoming events for the BWOMS on my IG story. So keep following me on Instagram. All right, guys. You have a safe and you have a great night. All right, Richie, let's go ahead and call it a night.
Are you sure, Dan? You don't want to say anything else?
We're good.
Surprises? Okay, cool.
We're in the hood.
Let's switch it. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, man. We're gonna talk. If you're gonna bring those roses, you gotta show up to Rosewood, man. That would be incomplete somehow. I want to thank everyone who stuck around with us. A lot of you stuck around like all night on the live chat. So props to you guys. Again, we're here every Monday. So if you have any poetry, any kind of writing that you want to share, any kind of storytelling, it is also open to musicians. So if you play music, if you're a songwriter, join us. We usually have people like Lara Lynette join us, and that's always a lot of fun. What else? In addition to the online open mics, we do have shows all throughout the week. Again, this week we do have Tuesday night a show at Rosewood, poetry and music, and we have another one on Friday at Joven and Bronson's. Joven and Bronson's is an awesome space. It's one of my favorite places in the entire city to hang out. It's a little bit of a small space, so just kind of be ready. If you want to perform and perform early, just kind of be there. But again, shout out to everyone who performed as well. Go follow them if you haven't had a chance to do so. Check out their online stuff, their poems that they're posting, their YouTube, their social media, and it costs nothing to share and promote other people. You know what I'm saying? So if you guys can, definitely encourage you. Again, my name is Richie. If you're an EPCC student and you missed all my other announcements, shoot me an email. I did. If you go through the live chat, you can scroll through, and I left instructions on how to get a hold of me. A lot of you guys have. That's awesome, and also thank you for sharing your thoughts. A lot of you guys shared who you enjoyed and what elements you loved, so that's going to be super fun. Also, even though we're ending the live stream, just FYI, we always have like a little after party where we just kind of hang out and chat, talk about whatever. It is also an opportunity to maybe share your work if you're really shy and don't want to do it live. Sometimes people will be like, here's a poem that I wrote, or something, and we'll listen happily, and go from there. Have a good night, guys. We will see you next Monday, or if I see you during the week, see you then. All right, for the live stream, my name is Rich, Barbed Open Mic Series. Peace. Whoa, I almost